So last year, Randy, he was sitting in one of these chairs, and he saw this, and he got excited, and he'll share more about it. But he called me and he said, "Hey, Brawn, I want to talk to you about what maybe you can do for me and my team. I want to invest in my growth and my team's growth." And so we talked about it, and he jumped in and invested in himself and his team over the past year. And it's been an amazing journey. I've been honored to serve them in the way that I have, but I want you to hear it from him and what it's meant for him. So Randy McFarland from the Ardmore Village, if y'all can give it up for Randy.
All right, thank you. You didn't tell me I was going to follow Warwick Dunn. It's a privilege to be able to speak on behalf of Brawn and what he's done for us at Ardmore Village. I thought he was going to tell my whole story. I was going, oh man. Last year, 2016, I made a life-changing decision, and that was to come to Live to Lead just like you. It was great just like this, took all kind of notes and everything, and I was all excited about everything, but you know how it goes with these things? We're excited when we leave here, but we have to go back to reality. Reality's busy. We take these things, this stuff that we wrote down, and I've got notes all over the place, and we place it on a shelf, either in our home or our place of business, and it becomes a part of our library. Something that we look at and we go, man, that stuff was really great, I ought to do something with it. But then we got kids' games to go to, and we got work to do and all that, and we just look at our library, and it doesn't do anything for us. Well, I was tired in 2016 of adding to my library. I wanted a lifestyle change. And so that's why I took a chance on a guy named Brawn. Never met Brawn before. And I did call him up and I said, I want to talk with you about maybe what you can do for us at Ardmore Village. I want to bring Live to Lead to us. How can we do that? He said, well, let's keep it small, 7 or 8 people. Let's start out with a personality study, and then we'll do a leadership game, and then do a John Maxwell book, Becoming a Person of Influence. I said, okay. I made a life-changing decision for myself and for Ardmore Village. You know, there's not very many decisions that we make are life-changing, but this was one of them. To get married, to have children, sometimes work decisions are life-changing. Faith decisions should be life-changing. But on that day, I made a life-changing decision. I invited Brawn to come, and so for the past year, twice a month, we've been meeting with Brawn, going through and doing these things. And the thing about Brawn, he looks like a nice guy, but he's not when you get him in one of these small groups. He's tenacious. I mean, he comes in, the first thing he says to us is, what did you do with your takeaway from last session? And he just sits there and looks at you till you answer. Goes around the room. Everybody has to have a takeaway. And then he asks, what's your golden nugget? And by that he's asking us, what from our reading that week spoke to us? You got to give him a golden nugget. Mr. Tenacity. He just sits there and looks at you till you answer. And then they're not through. The very last thing he does, we wrap up the session, he'll go, what's your takeaway from today? And again, he just sits there and looks at you. But he is a nice guy. He gives you chocolate every time when you answer. So it's not a bad deal. My big takeaway, Brawn said, make sure you talk about application. My big takeaway from our year together is that I am the only person I can change. Now, I knew that, but I really got to drill down on this. So my big takeaway is I'm the only person I can change. And for the first time in my 57-year life, I have quit trying to change everybody in my life. And nobody appreciates that more than my beautiful wife, who's here today. Yes, she's over there. I've quit trying to change people. I've just worked on me. The personal growth that I've done with Brawn. And what I have found is that as I change, all of my relationships have changed. My marriage is better because of what we have done with Brawn. That's good.
Amen. Y'all clap for that.
my wife is here because she's heard me talk about Brawn and all this stuff. Real quickly, I want to wrap this up. We've talked for the past year with Brawn, my leadership team. I couldn't make any of them change, but I have seen change in every one of them. The change they did on themselves. I'll tell you how I saw it play out. And do this very quickly. A week ago, we had staff meeting. And in that staff meeting, something was brought up that a year ago there would have been anger. There would have been someone getting mad on the other side. There would have been somebody walking out. And I would have been left spending the rest of the day trying to fix everything. Fast forward a year after we've been with Brawn, and we've been doing this, and we've been changing in that. Something was brought up. It was discussed like adults. We worked out a solution. Nobody got mad. Nobody left the room, except we left the room laughing. Change. Wouldn't you like to have that at your place of business? It can happen. It can happen. Let me get a woo-hoo from my staff. That was pretty good. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
You want to talk to somebody about this, what Brawn can do? Well, let me wrap this up by saying, every time I talk about this, and I was just talking about our experience last week with a fellow leader of Ardmore, and as I was telling this, they said, is it expensive? And I said, of course it is. Brawn has 5 children. What do you expect? It's expensive. No, it's not an expense, it's an investment. It's an investment in yourself. It's an investment in your leadership. And see, leadership flows downhill. So I have seen a change in my leadership staff, and it has affected their staff that they work with, and it's affected 185 adults that call Ardmore Village home. I would encourage you today to take a chance on this guy named Brawn. He's a great guy. Go ahead. Whether it's through one of the mastermind groups, or better yet, invite him to come to your place of business. It will be life-changing, professionally and personally. Thank you.
Thank you, Randy. Y'all give it up for Randy.